So, you and I are at the broker, you see an amount of 25 on my balance sheet, and it is with this amount that we will disperse our deposit today. We will open transactions on a 1-minute time frame, and I have selected all currency pairs with the most optimal movement pattern. Today is our weekend, and therefore we have all currency pairs. They have OTC status, and this means excellent interest on payments. Why not trade right now? I have done a full analysis of currency pairs. In general, the dynamics of price movement on the charts today is favorable, so you can trade. Today we will use the Kelter channel with default settings and 2 RSI oscillators. The first one will have a period of 5, and the second one will have a period of 10. Today we will observe local highs and lows, as well as the oversold and overbought area. In general, as I trade, you will understand how to work with the data correctly. Indicators, so let's start trading and select our first currency pair. And let's open an upward trade here. A good entry into the trade for the formation of a new local minimum. Select a working area. Here we will also focus on our upper oscillator, more precisely on its moving average, which will have to come out of the oversold area. And then we broke through a good support area. Several T's, we had touch points here. Our movement went outwards through the Kelter channel, and I think the further dynamics should go up. Let's look at the result of the first transaction. And our first trade is closing at a plus. We were a little lucky here because the opening time was not very favorable, but in general the signal was absolutely correct. If we had opened the deal a little later, it would have calmly closed at a plus. In general, it has now closed. The rollback has ended. The deal is fully open. Correctly. Let's continue our trading and select the next currency pair. And here I want to open a downside trade, a relatively good entry point. Let's highlight the workspace. We have formed a new local maximum. The movement has gone to the outside according to our channel indicator. This is our first signal to open a downside trade. We also see an exit from the overbought areas according to our 2 oscillators. So in this case, the deal needs to be opened on a downgrade. Let's look at the result of this transaction. And our second trade closes in a plus. We will change the amount of the transaction value, set the maximum again, and continue our trade. We will select the next currency pair. And here I want to open a trade on the contrary to go down. Earlier we could have opened it here to go up. It would have been the right signal, but now, in our case, the entry principle is a little different. We have a support area, this is our first touch point, and one of the oscillators crossed the oversold area, but the second oscillator did not do this. And accordingly, on the second pullback, we open the deal again to decrease. I think that we should touch a lower level, so here we'd better open the deal to decrease. Let's watch the result. And our next trade closes in a plus. We will change the amount of the transaction value, set the maximum again, and continue our trading. Everything happened in this transaction, as I said. We will select the next currency pair. Let's try to open a downside deal here. There was already a pretty strong upward trend here. On the penultimate candle, we have a very long shadow from above, yes. And therefore, I concluded that it is better to open a downside deal here. We are once again forming a new local maximum. The moving lines of the oscillators are in the overbought area. What causes the market to be oversaturated? They need to exit already. The price needs to be adjusted, which is why we are opening a deal here to reduce. Let's watch the result. And our next deal closes in a plus, as you can see. This strategy allows you to open deals even in such a place and at such a level. In general, to accurately close deals in A+, let's continue trading and select the next currency pair. And here I also want to open a downside deal again. Absolutely the same entry logic. We have formed a new local maximum after exiting the channel movement area. Our moving averages are also in the overbought area, and accordingly, there must be a downside exit so as not to cause a price glut in the market. So here we open a deal on downgrade. Let's look at the result of this trade. We have about 25 seconds left before completion. And our next deal closes in A+ again. As you can see, we had absolutely the same entry logic as in previous transactions, and anyway, the deal is closed in A+. We will change the amount of the transaction value again and continue our trading and select the next currency pair. And here again, we will open a downward trade again, all according to the same entry logic in my opinion. The deal has already been opened here or not, I honestly do not remember, but we have exited the channel movement. A new local maximum has formed. Then the dynamics of the movement goes down. We should see the intersection of the area, overbought conditions for both of our oscillators from top to bottom. So here we are reopening the downside deal anyway, and let's look at the result of this deal. And as you can see, our deal opens in A+ again. We will change the amount of the transaction value, put $612, and open two deals in the amount of $1,224. Let's start and select the next currency pair. And here we will open two deals to increase. Here is a slightly different entry principle. In general, our dynamics over the last period of movement have been suitable. Then we perceive this section of movement as a price adjustment, updating our price minimum. Then the dynamics of movement goes up, updating our price maximum, and then we have a price pullback. The movement goes back into the channel, a green candle appears, and this is a sign of the continuation of the upward trend. Therefore, here we are opening two deals for an increase, and let's look at their results. And as I told you, our next deal is closing in A+. To consolidate the result, let's open two deals worth $2,000, and in general, it will be possible to fix your profit. I am already satisfied with the trade. Let's start further analysis and select our final currency pair. Here are two deals I want to open downwards, in the direction of the actual trend dynamics. It has a downward character. Here you can also draw a trend line and generally get a good touch point. Of course, you could open a little better here, but in general, I am sure that the dynamics of our movement, it will go down. As we have exited the channel movement, a new local maximum has formed, and our oscillator is also in the overbought area. We will expect a rebound and exit from this area. Let's keep an eye on the outcome of our closing trades. And our final transactions are closing without any problems, plus an excellent result for today. And I suggest we proceed to withdrawal and record our current profit. We select a wallet and select the amount of $4,100. Our operation is being successfully performed. We have such an interesting trade today. We have recorded a great one for today, in general. Thank you to everyone who watched this video to the end. Be sure to like and write your comment. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and in the description under the video, you will find a link to my Telegram group. If you still have any questions, you can write to me, and I will help you. But have a nice day, and good luck in trading.